I'm Van.
I'm sorry.
That's Lavi.
Salty and Chip.
Amphetamine, Cradle of Filth. This song was asked for, like, since we did Her Ghost in the Fog. Like, that far back.
Aw.
I was like,
Well, we're coming around to it.
Shaw.
This is... We both just crawled out of bed. Vin changed his shirt. I'm still wearing... I was sleeping in his FBI shirt. What?
Quiet. So this is... shout out to... I'm not going to do that. Oh, boy. Oh, there's so many things I can... There's so many things I can
So many
say.
things! But we won't. We can't. We shan't.
All right. This is Cradle of Filth.
Sometimes I find things that is just beyond hilarious. I'm like, Vin, come back in this room. Look at this.
It's unbelievable.
But then I felt like the gods were against me because I couldn't figure out how to rewind. It wasn't rewinding.
I'm gonna put out this meat in the midst of these wolves.
Yep.
And if any of you wolves deign dare, I'm gonna find you.
So help you.
So help you.
So help me God.
That I don't believe in, apparently. Okay. All right. Well.
Okay. I wonder if you know who you are.
Let's go. Nymphetamine, Cradle of Filth.
Yep. Filth.
Go.
Go. was really pretty.
Kind of makes sense why everybody was requesting this after her Ghost in the Fog.
Yeah.
Interesting song.
What do you mean? Like, for what the lyrics are talking about?
Well, it's two people, you know, who love each other and all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it makes sense.
Is Lindsay in this one?
No. This is 2004. Schoolcraft wasn't with them then.
Okay. This, I really liked it. I really liked the vocals. Well, I'll save that for when I rate it. Anyway, so yeah, I really liked it. What did you think? Did you like it?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was good.
Oh, but not like... It was really pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty. Watch all.
Okay, so I got that it was about two people.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of it like I didn't...
Well, it's Danny Filth's amazing writing style once again. It's about two people and how their sexuality works with each other.
Okay.
I could always find the right slot for your sacred.
Yeah, I mean, that one I understood.
You figured
I was
that
like,
one
oh,
out?
that's cool. I like that. What was the 6
then there's
feet
another one.
thing?
Well, there's them, how they relate sexuality, and then death. Of course, it's Cradle of Filth, so they gotta put some death in
6
this.
feet deep in the
Is the incision in my heart, that barless prison. So that could be a very, very poetic way of saying that he's dead inside, but that encounters with her makes him feel alive.
Ooh.
You know, this lust is vampiric addiction. You know how like a vampire gains his power and strength from you know,
To her alone in full.
feeding on another person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
So her that's the effect that she has on him. Like being I think people use sexuality that way, like it fulfills some emptiness that they have inside of them.
Yeah.
What?
No, I think it's true. I think that, especially like, I think it's easiest to see when you think about like pornography or, you know, like a one night stand sort of situation and stuff like that. But it can even enter marriages and stuff like that, like how you use your sexuality. If it's not about like meeting the other person, you know what I mean, and connecting with them and stuff like that, then it can become just like a one-sided sort of fill this.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely mutuality in this song,
Yeah, I thought so too.
but the male character is definitely cold was my soul, untold
Yeah,
was
this
the pain.
part.
I faced when you left me a rose in the ring. So I swore to the razor. That's a good line.
Yeah,
That's a very good line.
yeah. That's why I highlighted this part.
That never enchained would your dark nails of faith be pushed through my veins again.
Okay,
It's good.
so I don't know if he's going to like cut with the razor or if he's saying I'm not going to do that.
Well, he's saying that she left him apparently.
Yeah.
So he swore that he would never allow him into his heart again, basically. What?
Why did he say the razor? He's calling her a razor?
Well, no, he's saying I swore to the razor. Basically, it's a Danny Filth brilliant way of saying he would rather kill himself before he would allow her to get that close to him again. Your dark nails of faith be pushed through my veins again.
Woo!
Yeah, he can write, man. He can write. You know, it's like there's Danny Filth, and then
Yep.
there's other people. No, seriously,
yeah,
it's like
yeah, he does have a really
he's the best. He's the best.
barred on your tomb. I'm a prayer for your loneliness.
Bared on your tomb.
Bared on your tomb. Oh, so it's written on your tomb.
That's one R.
That's written one R. Bared on your tomb. I'm a prayer for your loneliness.
And would you ever soon come above unto me? So he died?
So
Maybe he killed himself.
no,
Well, then why is she bared on his tomb?
on your tomb.
Right. She's singing now.
Oh, she was singing at that.
Bared on your tomb.
Oh.
Blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
I'm a prayer for your loneliness. What did you get from that line? You seem to you
No, I just thought it was really cool. I'm a prayer for your loneliness. Like, I didn't like. I don't know why, but I pictured like there was like a tombstone, and then somebody was like slumped onto the tombstone, like just like a prayer, but they were lonely. And so then it says,
It's a prayer for your
and would you
loneliness.
ever soon come above unto me, like come back from the grave, like to me? But I guess misunderstood.
Well,
that
no,
whole thing.
how are you misunderstanding? I think you're right, but in that situation, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you misunderstanding?
So she's saying, so she changed her mind now, and now she doesn't.
He left. She left him. He swore to the razor. I guess he killed himself, and then she goes back and she's buried on his tomb.
Okay, so that's how he was gonna make sure that that he never let her back in. He was just gonna kill himself,
Right?
Because he knew he couldn't.
Right. Well, this is Cradle of Filth, so maybe he comes back as a ghost and they have,
Astro sex.
astral sex, whatever.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Nope.
Those are demons.
We don't recommend that.
Guarantee you get to me. How dare you? My astral partner is a very nice person. Blah blah blah. We're Christians. Those
Yeah.
are demons. Okay, back to your regular scheduled program already in progress. Yeah. So it looks like at this point in the story, he's dead.
Yeah.
She goes to his tomb. She's obviously changed her mind about him. I'm a prayer for your loneliness. Maybe she's the answer to the prayer for his because of his loneliness. And would you ever soon come above unto me? So he's in the underworld.
Yeah.
He's in Sheol.
Yeah.
So he's in the underworld. She's asking if he's going to come above. For once upon a time, from the binds of your loneliness, I could always find the right slot for your sacred key.
That's cute.
Why?
Well, just the way that she words it, like she could have said some like gross way, but just saying like, basically she's saying there was times where he was bound in so much loneliness, but when you're bound, you need a key to unlock it, and then that was like the way to unlock his loneliness was sexually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very it's a yeah, a lot of things you can do with that.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So that.
What do you mean?
Well, apparently it wasn't enough to keep him alive.
No.
See, that's the thing. Is like it's this ode to the wonders of the cure-all that sexuality is, but the guy's dead.
Yeah, I know,
So-
but she left him, so he wasn't getting that cure-all.
Okay, well then, obviously it didn't cure.
No, I
anything.
don't think that that's a cure-all. I'm just teasing
Yes, you do.
I do not think it's a cure-all, but I
You
do think that it helps in a lot of
absolutely-
situations.
You absolutely
I don't think
do.
it's a cure-all,
You
babe.
absolutely do.
You're such a liar.
Look.
I don't think it's a cure-all, but I do think that it does cure a lot of situations. And you have to
Look,
admit.
I don't think it's a cure-all. I think it's a cure-all.
I cure a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I do think it cures a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a cure-all. There's a difference. It does cure a lot. Would you say it doesn't cure a lot for you? Be honest. If you're going to open this can of worms.
I'm not opening any can of worms. I don't think it
You
cures.
should be honest with the people.
I think it creates more issues than it cures. Let's say that.
In the world? Or in different relationships?
Well, yeah, in different relationships. You can't take our relationship as a standard. You
Yeah,
think
well,
you
I'm
take
talking
our
about
relationship as
everybody-
like everybody else's
No, I don't
relationship?
think so.
No, it's not.
I don't think so.
Believe you
But
me.
I'm talking about us. Most times we're talking about us. Our relationship.
It's a big cure-all for you. It cures all your.
No, it doesn't cure all for me, but it cures a lot. And it cures a lot for me,
I've
too.
never seen you not be cured.
I feel happy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been walking around like, why is she so...
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Well, then I should just put myself in a bad mood then.
You're ridiculous. I can't believe we're having this discussion. 6 feet deep is the incision in my heart, that barless prison. Discolors all with tunnel vision, sun-centered. So he... Yeah, I
So
think
he's talking to
he
the
died. He's dead. He died.
Wow. Okay, remember how he was talking about the razor before?
Right.
Now he's saying 6 feet deep is the incision.
Right.
So he's 6 feet under, but he's talking about the incision. It went so deep, like it put him in the ground.
Yeah.
Yikes. Oh, it's sad. In my heart, that barless prison discolors all with tunnel vision. Well, I don't know what he's talking about, but like for me, that sounds like his heart remember she was able to get into his heart before?
Right.
But now she's not there to get into it, so now everything is discolored by his tunnel vision.
But it's a barless prison. I mean, he's locked into it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
There's no bars there, but he's locked in it because of his fear.
Yeah.
Fear. But that's the thing. It's like, you know, people have been hurt in relationships, and so like they say, "Oh, I'm gonna always protect myself from."
Yeah.
You know, and
I never even want that happening again.
yeah, it's like a barless prison. It's like, okay, great. Now you've just guaranteed that you will now never find love. You know, you can't. You know, it's a.
Or you can't live life just normally. Like, I always find, like, the fears from my past, like, creeping into my present, and then, like, I can't live it like a normal day sometimes. Like, I'm like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And so I start getting fearful, and then I'm looking over my shoulder constantly, and that's no way to live.
I don't think you look over your shoulder constantly.
You don't know what's in my head. But what I mean by look over my shoulder is different than probably what you're thinking.
Well, what are you?
I'm using that language on purpose.
I still don't get it. Whisper it to me. Why?
I'm checking up on these.
Oh. I see. Yes. Yes.
See what I mean?
Yeah. You have so many problems. Okay.
You're one of them.
I seem to be the biggest one. I always get these people. Forget him, sorry. Be with me. I just had this.
You would return me in less than a week.
This girl posted this thing. She's like, no disrespect, but come over to our side, sorry. It was a lesbian.
Oh.
Yeah. Because we watched all those episodes of Orange. Now they think that she thinks she has a shot.
Honestly, before Orange started, I thought I could kind of like possibly swing that direction. I'm so grossed out from watching so much eating out of pussy. I could just be ill. I can't even. Every time they start, I'm like, no, please, not again.
This again.
Please, ladies, can't you just read a book together?
Well, we're in season 5, so it's like, okay, I get it.
And like we watch like a lot of them sometimes back to back, so it's just maybe it's like once a week. I don't know. It's just too much. I'm like, oh, another like.
It's just a disgusting situation because they're in prison. You know, it's not a.
And then like anytime that they're heading toward the bathroom and everybody's getting out of the shower, so I'm like, ugh.
I don't think. See, if I was like a lesbian or in the LGBT community, I'd be like, are there any of those relationships that actually like last in the show? Like, I'm trying to rack my brain here. There's one of them that's like on and off consistently. Like they hate each other and they love each other, but it's very unhealthy.
Yeah, the whole of them are all.
It's not a very good presentation.
The only one
it's not
that
a very
looks
good
like...
presentation of LGBT relationships at all.
No, it's not. You're right.
It's always like a husband, the boyfriend broke up with them, so this is the fallback. You know,
right.
There's 2 or 3 of them that are like that.
Right.
And then it's just like,
That's true. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's but then it's in prison. It's like maybe it's not meant to be a display of lesbian relationships. They're in jail. It's a necessity to some. I don't know. we're digressing here.
I was just thinking that. Okay.
This lust is vampiric addiction to her alone in full submission. So I think his ghost is looking back, but. Racked with your charm, I'm circled like prey back in the forest where whispers persuade. More sugar trails, more white lady laid than pillars of salt, keeping Sodom at night at bay. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, so Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. Remember that? Like, because he talks about Sodom.
She shouldn't have looked back.
So maybe
should have kept going forward.
In a reference to looking back.
Keeping Sodom at night at bay.
Right.
More white lady laid than pillars of salt. But this was Danny Filth was saying this part.
It was weird because
he
this was the part that was going back and forth in your ears. Ding, 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 ding.
He was saying the part, not her.
I couldn't tell who was doing it.
So, he was racked with her charm, circled like prey. They used to meet in the forest, I guess. Fold to my arms, hold their mesmeric sway, and dance out to the moon as we did in those golden days.
As we did. So are they meeting? Like, is she meeting his spirit? Can you scroll back up, babe? You know what I mean?
Well, there's no part
I'm
where...
sort of like pray back in the forest where whispers persuade.
Maybe this is his ghost now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And they're meeting like that.
Okay, so let's go with that theory. So when he says racked with your charm, I'm circled like prey, maybe he back in the forest. Because this is all present tense, right? Because above she says for once upon a time, that's past tense.
Yeah.
So now maybe his ghost came back and he's looking at her and he's not looking back to keep Sodom at night at bay. Maybe that's like his holding place. Or
he
whatever.
says, fold to my arms, hold their mesmeric sway. So I don't know if he's saying like...
No, she's saying that.
She's saying that? Fold
Yeah.
to my arms?
Yeah. So
is she saying like come
into
like,
his arms and dance
like
out
they
to the
can't
moon.
like really like connect, you know what I mean? Like so is she...
As we did in those golden days.
Right.
So
I think that-
so he's back.
Yep.
Christening stars, I remember the way we were needle and spoon. Oh, that's another one. Christening stars, that's a good one. You know how you name stars? I'm gonna
Misleading.
name this star,
Yeah.
name that star. So they were like under the
Yeah, the stars naming them all. Like
Yeah.
they owned them all.
Yeah.
Like we were needle and spoon, which is weird because there's like mislaid in the burning hay. So when you think of a needle in a haystack, they were lost.
Right, they were lost in
But
each
then they
other.
were spooning also, I'm guessing.
Needle
Yeah.
and spoon.
Oh. Yeah.
Key, slot, needle,
Yeah, I know, but
spoon.
needle and spoon is just weird. Key, slot makes sense.
Needle-
spoon.
Uh,
I'm thinking of it, actually, believe it or not, I'm thinking of it less sexual than you are. I'm picturing them, they were in, like, just like laying in the hay, like spooning, and they were like a needle in a haystack. They were just lost in that, like the simplicity of that. Like, I don't know, needle and a spoon. Where the fuck is the hole to put the needle in? It doesn't even make any sense.
All right. Next thing. And then it goes back to buried in the hay and all the rest of it. So there you are. So it's a love story,
Yeah.
but it's you know, the mean M-I-N-E is a suffix for some sort of drug,
Oh.
right? So caffeine, you know, all that jazz. So
I think that there is,
methamphetamine.
I think that, like, good relationships should have, like, an element of feeling like the person is a drug.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And I don't think that everybody gets that. We've talked about that before. I don't think that everybody experiences that in their lives.
yeah.
Yeah. What? You do that to me.
Okay.
Now I'm getting red. Fast forward, keep going.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that. Well, I think it's designed that way. I mean, we talk about this. It's the endorphin rush and all that good jazz. It's very, very interesting because if you just look at these guys, you're like, it's darkness, it's satanic, blah 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 blah. But there's enough lyrically to where, you know, it's like real deep love. Like you can clearly see that these people love each other, and yeah, there's a lot of sexuality involved, but it's not gross, nasty. You know, what? It's just so interesting to me how people's perception of things can, because it seems like he's very, very close to what we would say that God's intention for sexuality is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but there would be a lot of Christians that would be on the outside looking in and nymphetamine, you know, because it's a prefix nymph has to do with sexuality.
Yeah.
And so he's combining those two words. And it would seem like, you know, you would assume until you actually listen to what they're saying that he has a very, very high view of sexuality and also a high
love.
Well, no, I think it's a high view of love.
No, I
too.
think I would assume. I thought you said we would assume. So you would assume that by the title, it was going to be a high view of sex, a low view of love. But when it started and we went through it, it was a high view of both.
Well, actually, I would
Higher for love. It seemed like. What?
I think the assumption would be you'd say, oh, this is a goth metal band or whatever genre metal they're in. And so you would assume that when these guys start handling sex, it would just be this stupid whatever. But at some level, there's some monogamy here because it's only two people. It's love and death and how that works and how that relates and how deeply somebody loves somebody. I mean, at this level, you'd almost say he loved her too much because apparently he kills himself and she's gone.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's just, that's why you have to actually stop and listen to what people are saying. Because this guy, lyrically in this song, seems to have an extremely high view of love and sexuality. And he handled it in a very tasteful way.
Did you notice at the beginning, I think it's the dead version of him talking. Lead to the river, midsummer I waved, a V of black swans, on with hope to the grave. All through red summer with skies fire paved.
Red September.
What did I say? Right, anyway, with skies fire paved, I begged you appear like a thorn for the holy ones. So, who was talking at that point?
That's the girl.
So, do you think that she was walking out, heading toward the forest?
Yeah, where he was
hoping
buried.
to see him.
Yeah.
So he was already gone by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, huh? Okay. All through red September.
It's a
That's
good line.
pretty.
I'm telling you, lyrically, you
I know.
can't fuck with Danny Field.
No, you can't.
You can't fuck with Danny Field. What'd you give the song?
I gave it a 9 because, and I actually probably would up it to a 9.8. I really liked it. It just, you know what, and I think maybe that this is wrong to do this, but it needed that floor height to it. How she just brings it to some crazy vocal level.
Yeah.
It needed that.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was missing from the song. So I have to dock it for that. But it was really good. I really liked it. What do you give it?
Well, the musicianship never got that dramatic for her to go there.
Well, do it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Floor.
It needed some of that.
The one song we've heard of Floor, the musicianship was extremely dramatic.
Yeah, I just mean it needed to have some part where she went really up with her vocals, in a desperate high.
Yeah, I agree. It was kind of like this. It got a 7.8 for me because I like the melodies and such, but it just never went anywhere. It just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. And then toward the end there was a solo, and I really liked the solo. I'm like, her Ghost in the Fog had featured a really strong guitar presence, and it's there's synth and stuff, and that's great, but at the end of the day it's still rock and roll. I want to hear I want to hear that guitar.
Yeah.
So
I liked it.
I think the guitar, if it would have had the opportunity to get elevated, it would have elevated the vocal. So 7.8 for me.
9.8. I really liked it.
9.8?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Why did I of course, obviously you're gonna give a song like this high. Vin out.
Story out.
Gone.